Hey PC Gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I am Lauren Morton, and I'm here with Mollie Taylor.
Hey everyone!
And this week we are bringing on our associate editor, Ted Litchfield, to talk about Baldur's Gate 3, which everybody is in the middle of right now. There's a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 happening pretty much everywhere, like on every timeline, any social media you're on. It's on TikTok, it's on Twitter, X, whatever. Yeah, it's everywhere at the moment. So we're getting together to share some of our first feelings as we've started getting into it for the first, 10 plus hours or something like that.
Yeah, like 10 to 20 hours, right? And obviously there are some spoilers as well, I guess. So if you've not played it yet and that's something you're bothered about, maybe come back to this when you've also played 10 or 20 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. But
I'd say Act 1. I think we're going to get through some spoilers, like for pretty much through like what you do through the end of Act 1. So get through what was in Early Access, or if you've already played all of Early Access, you're totally safe. And then we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that we saw. But before we get into that, Mollie, what did you do last week?
Well, Lauren, I've been playing just this little game that is kind of niche. I don't think anyone's really heard of it, called Baldur's Gate 3. Yes, obviously I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. I say a lot. I've put like 26 hours in or something. I ended up taking like a short break because I've ended up resubscribing to Final Fantasy 14, which if that is not like
Classic.
Yeah, if that is not an indication of where I am mentally right now, I don't know what will be. I feel like every time I'm like having like a hard time, I always just it's
Bring
the
me
one
my comfort MMO.
Yeah, it's like the thing I go crawling back to, right? And I haven't been playing for 8 months, and it's been kind of sweet. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a hell of a long time. Is
this because of Honkai? What happened?
What?
Is this because of Honkai? What happened?
I thought you said because of Hawkeye. It's like, what does Jeremy Renner have to do with any of this?
No, Honkai Stair Rail.
I don't know. I just kind of took what was supposed to be a short break, and then that short break turned into a very long break. But it's been kind of nice because I've been gone for quite a while, but I've come back, and people have like been messaging me, and they've been like, "Oh my god, like haven't seen you for so long," and I'm like, "You remember me?" And it's it's kind of sweet to like come back, and a lot has changed, but a lot hasn't changed as well. And I think that's kind of the beauty of an MMO is you go back and like, it's very consistent. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been hanging out, with some old internet pals, and also playing Baldur's Gate 3, and hitting the F9 key, a lot. Yeah, a lot of quick saving, a lot of quick loading. So that's been my week. How about you, Lauren?
First of all, I promise I know it's called Honkai Star Rail. Honkai Stair Rail is the typo that I make like consistently. If you have hands that do like physical autocomplete, do you ever do that thing where you start like typing a word and your hands finish a totally different word?
Me with Cyberpunk. For months, I could not spell cyberpunk correctly. I would spell it like cyberpunk. So I don't know why. It's just the order my fingers went in were not correct. So yes, the little
Honkai Stair Rail.
Yeah, Honkai Stair Rail.
Let's see. So speaking of MMOs, I did install the new version of Palia, which we talked a little bit about last week. And people are now jumping into for the like full open beta that like anybody can join. Haven't gotten a chance to start playing again because of Baldur's Gate 3, but that is something I'm going to be getting back to, is the cozy crafting and collecting and town sim MMO that I'm very glad it exists. I'm happy to see more of these. I'm going to be really annoying about like non-traditional MMOs for the rest of this year. The prophecy that was foretold at the beginning of the year is going to come true. But otherwise, yeah, I've been playing lots of Baldur's Gate 3. I have been taking so many particular like save states just so I can go back and like retry conversations in different orders to see what happens. Like I had a particularly bad time with those paladins,
Yes, me too.
There's only 2 of them. They are above your level, but they're these paladins that are after Karlach, so you have to fight them to keep her around with you. They suck. That guy has divine smite, and it hurts really bad. He gets off
It
like 3 attacks per turn. I did it so many times. I kept saving. I kept like in Larian RPG fashion,
positioning
putting my
yourself.
party, yes,
Yeah.
before the fight starts, before you trigger the dialogue. Man, he still gave me a rough time. And then the time when I finally got it and stuck to it, 3 out of 4 people had died. Everyone was dead, including me, except for Asterion. So Gale's on the ground dead. I'm on the ground dead. Karlach is on the ground dead. The like conversation ends immediately. It goes into a dialogue triggering like Gale. When Gale dies, he like has a like answering machine style thing where he's like, if you're saying this message, it's because I've died, and if I don't get back to life again, something bad is going to happen. Because as we're going to talk more about Gale's quest line a little bit, you have to feed him the magic items or else like kaboom or something. We don't really know yet, but so I had to like resurrect him and then chain together other resurrection scrolls to get the rest of the party together. And there was this like horrible death aura around them. I don't know. It was a nightmare. And then I realized I had forgotten to go do the tail end of a different part of Karlach's quest, but I had already triggered the like tiefling party thing. So I couldn't go and rest. I was walking around with 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, 6 HP for Asterion, trying to like finish the end of the quest before I could go to my camp and rest. Otherwise, it was going to take me through, you know, a point of no return. Like, so my weekend of Baldur's Gate 3 was a little rough, but it was a good time. that's what I've been doing.
Punishing but fun.
Yeah. This is the way that a Larian RPG is meant to be experienced, is through just routine failure and hijinks. And I finally learned to throw people over edges. It wasn't working for me very well initially. I kept failing my athletics check to like shove people into pits.
Oh yeah.
It's gotten better. So now I'm doing more of that.
Nice.
For sure. And now, after a short break, we're going to come back and talk about a lot more Baldur's Gate 3 with Ted. Hey Ted, welcome to this week's chat log. You are our Baldur's Gate 3 correspondent, the lucky choosy. I asked you about this a while ago, and now like everybody on the team is playing Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's safe to say almost everybody is really loving it right now. Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
And everybody picked a bard.
Everybody picked a bard.
Wow.
And everybody wants to romance Karlach, the big red demon lady or devil. She's like a half devil, right? That's her thing. I thought I was gonna be an outlier, and then suddenly it's like a full PC gamer team bit. I swear we're not doing a bit. Everybody just decided they loved her. Yeah. So anyway, we are speaking right now. Normally I try to keep a little bit of the mystique, but we are speaking right now on the launch day of Baldur's Gate 3. People are not going to hear this until a week later, but since we've each had several days with it so far, I think it'll be an appropriate timing. Other people will have a chance to download this giant game. It's like 120 gigs, so people may not be playing until like the day after it launches. And people will have an opportunity to catch up to where we've been playing to. So on that note, Ted, Mollie, how far have you gotten? Who are you playing as? What's the feeling so far? Go ahead, Mollie. You go ahead.
I don't know how far in I am. I've played like 13, 14 hours so far. So I've put in like a not insignificant amount of time over the last like 3 days, I want to say. However, I do not think I'm that far. I am like dying every 5 seconds. I am like constantly reloading saves. So this is my first Larian RPG. I've only ever played one session of D&D in my entire life as well. So this is like a completely new experience. I only just got told today that I was missing like every single companion but one. And I had only picked up Gale and nobody else. And I was like, that's fine. Like, this is okay. And I have just been playing the last like 12 hours with just 3 people.
3 people? Okay, you and like what? Shadowheart and Gale, maybe? And that's it?
Me, Shadowheart, Gale, and Lizelle.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah, that's it. That's. I am not
There's
BG3ing correctly.
I think you've only missed one really obvious right off the bat because Will is like slightly later, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just Asteria that you have managed to walk completely past and ignore. He's just standing
Missed
on the
him.
beach, Molly. He's just standing there.
I picked up Gale and I was like, "This'll do," and I left.
He is
What about
kind
you,
of tucked
Ted?
away though, like Asterion. He's kind
Is
of
he?
like chilling.
It just
Like
depends on which way
off to
you
the side.
walk off that first beach, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm also about
totally.
15 hours in, but I think I'm close to the end of where early access was. I just, no spoilers, hopped down into the Underdark. I had a big shindig at the party camp because I'm a big hero mode. I'm a paladin. That's really fun in this one. Like, it's a really good, very fun class to pick because you can like do all these fun persuasion options and then also like one hit kill people with smites, which is like a very fun way to do fights.
Yeah. I think my playtime counter right now says 20 hours, which is like kind of skewed because I'm not as far as you, Ted. So I don't know. I've been partially like prepping some coverage, like taking a lot of screenshots, doing a lot of things. So I think there is a lot of bloat, wasted time in there potentially, but there's also a lot of rolling back the save. I did spend a little bit of time. I'm like doing a main um paladin also. I decided to do a vengeance
Ooh.
paladin, half drow. Yeah. Are we gonna break our oaths, Ted? Um,
I am also a half drow vengeance paladin.
how did we do this?
It's cool. It's fun. Well, I picked a half orc at first, but I was talking about this with Fraser. I mean, am I allowed to swear here?
Yes, yes.
Everyone in this game is so fuckable. The male half orcs do not have like a good face selection. Like Fraser and I were talking
Mhm.
about it. There is like one male half orc face that is like marginally kind of like a little bit softer than the others, but he just looks kind of like a Batman goon that like the other goons would call babyface. Like it just like it felt like I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I want my little guy to be fuckable too. So we went half drow.
Nice. We were like looking at our whole team's composition, trying to get like different classes, different whatever. And then like suddenly everyone's a bard for starters. Except I guess you and me are now the exact same thing. Yeah, Molly's a bard. There's like 4
Yeah,
bards for sure on this
I am
team.
a bard. I'm a half wood elf bard. I just went, I want to be a bard. What race is good for that? And Google told me that it was a half elf. So I was like, cool.
We and like a bard is not like kind of a beginner class, right? Are you struggling? Are you having a bad time, Molly?
I'm struggling. I'm struggling a little bit. I didn't realize it was gonna be like kind of hard, and I guess because, like I said, because it's my first Larian RPG, right? So I'm not playing it like a Larian RPG. I'm playing it like 25 years of severe JRPG brain rot, and that is not the way that a Larian RPG should be played, right? So there's some teething issues, there's some communication issues right now that are going on. But Ted's right, everyone's like super fuckable. So I'm persevering for the sake of like hot elves that wanna talk about poetry and their cats. So
Okay, but the elf who's fuckable, Asterion, like he literally went up to me and he's like, "Oh, I want some fun, darling. At this party, you can have at your camp close to the end of the act." And I'm like, "What does that mean, Asterion?" And he's like, "I'm talking about sex, darling." I'm like, it was awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah, I haven't kissed anyone yet. I haven't gotten that far. That's how like utterly lost I've been in this game for the past like 10 to 15 hours is I have yet to smooch anybody. I will get there.
Yeah, I also have not gotten to the requisite event to have everybody partying and get to seal any of the starting, I guess, of any of those romances. I just know I've only just picked up Karlak. I have found her at last. It took me a while to like venture further out, but my initial thoughts are confirmed. I like her immediately. So
She's so cool.
I know. I was like, oh no, am I gonna like wind up having to like break my oath to like save this devil woman? Like, am I just gonna abandon my class immediately? But then we get there and it's like kind of a gray area. They're like, maybe she's not so evil. So I'm like, okay, good. This fits.
So somebody else broke his oath for you, and then you can kill him and take his really good sword.
I did get into that fight. And then it was like, by the way, you're under leveled. And I was like, well, we're going to try it anyway. And then they murdered me. So that's why I have 20 hours on my save file and I am not as far as you, Ted. Speaking of Divinity, so Ted, you played Divinity Original Sin 2, right? And Mollie, you have not?
Nope.
Cool. I have. And I guess then, Ted, how are you feeling about the next big Larian RPG? I mean, does this feel like Divinity to you? Does it feel, I mean, there's the whole D&D bit and a lot more information on that bottom bar going on, but
Yeah, I mean, like it's so like it is like the camera and like all the physics interactions are like so undeniably Larian, but like that's the like the thing I keep running into is like not to say like Baldur's Gate 3 is like it's like I haven't had as much struggle with it as I did with Divinity 2. Like I thought Divinity 2 was hard and like I was like pissed off at it when I first started playing it. And like BG3 it's like mostly been like there've been like a couple of rough fights that I've like really had to like pick at until I kind of figured them out. But for the most part like it's almost like kind of going down easier for me. Like it especially with like all the fights you can avoid with persuasion.
yeah, lots of them.
There's like and like there's like I noticed like a bit like after the Nautiloid where I had like a couple of hours of not really getting into any fights, just like exploring, and that felt like it didn't happen a lot in Divinity 2, and I really like that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I will say maybe it might sort of be getting generally easier, or at least allowing it for it to be easier. There's definitely a harder difficulty level if you really want to be challenged. But I remember Divinity 1, I did not finish because I got into the beginning of that. The beginning of Divinity Original Sin, the first one, it really pits you against some difficult fights. Like you try to leave the first town and you're like, where do I go? Because every direction you leave that town from, like you're hitting a wall and you can't figure out how to unpick this like ball of yarn going on. And Divinity Original Sin 2 is less stressful on that front, but definitely there are a lot of fights you have to be like, I will just not go here for a while. I'll just not, I'm sorry.
I'm remembering in particular, like it's in that first act, there's like the torturer guy underneath Fort Joy who you don't have to fight, but I picked a fight with him because he has two good daggers, and I was a dagger guy. And that was hell. And then there's like a fight in Act 2 where it's like this scaffolding where there's like a guy you're trying to rescue or something, and then it all gets lit on demon fire, and like you're fighting this massive battle in the middle of demon fire. Like there's like a little bit of that juice, like that energy to some of the fights I've run into, but like nothing quite as like like you start the fight and it's like, oh come on, man, you know?
Yeah. Mollie, how are you feeling as somebody that doesn't really have D&D experience? I've just recently, I told you I've been doing a little bit of D&D with my siblings, so I've had like one or two experiences where in a fight in my tabletop session, I was reminded, oh, you can dash. You can use like double your movement during one turn to like get where you want to go. And I would not have like paid attention to that on my hotbar, I don't think. I would not have really thought about it, except that it happened in my tabletop campaign. And I was like, oh, shoot, I need to be making use of this dash ability for like that first fight on the Nautiloid where you need to get to that console, that search console, and just blow past the enemy that mind flayer is going to fight for you. I was like, oh, everybody just needs to dash there to get there in a couple turns. So I was like, oh, shoot, this is like some certain things are like coming in handy if I have them top of mind. So how are you finding that bit, Mollie, with like not having that background? Are you stressed by dice and numbers?
I am very stressed. I've like there's been a lot of reading that I've been having to do because my like base level knowledge is just not really there. It's not that I've never really played D&D by choice. It's just that I guess like it's never really been something that has been given to me as an opportunity. And like I said, I played one session in my life. That was maybe like 3 years ago now. And I just remember like being very uncomfortable trying to get into it all. It was taking like a lot of work from my brain. And it's kind of the same right now. It's like, oh, this is like so much learning. Like it's a very steep learning curve if you haven't played D&D before. But I'm getting there slowly but surely. We've been getting a lot of help from our resident D&Ders, Harvey and Robin. They have been giving like loads of good tips, loads of advice. So yeah, it's definitely been a little tough. It's been a little tough, but I'm persevering. I haven't been totally put off yet. I'm learning to walk away from fights that I should not be throwing myself into. I tried to fight like a level 5 today, and I'm only level 3 at the minute. And I was like, I'm gonna walk away from this. So I skedaddled, and I'm learning slowly but surely. But there's like a lot of spells. There's a lot of stuff that it's not super obvious at first if like the kit complements each other or not. That's something that is taking a little bit of time for me to grasp and learn, but I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah. Then I guess what makes it getting through the learning, the math difficulty partially worth it is that Larian has really doubled down on the BioWare style romances, right? We've already alluded to this a little bit. But like both of you and me, all of us coming from, having been BioWare RPG people, having experience with that and watching that sort of permeate through other RPGs, like through Bethesda's RPGs or emulating some of those romance things. Divinity Original Sin 2 did have like some bits of that, but we are now getting into like, go into a conversation, have a bust of a NPC character that you're talking to, and they are emoting all over the place. They are asking your opinion on things. Like we are now fully in the BioWare style party relationships. How are we feeling about those? Does it compare? Does it make you feel nostalgic? Is it an evolution?
You smooch them, Ted. You tell us.
I think it's a real like evolution. Like I've been really impressed. Like,
sex, my dear.
Everybody in this party, like they're all really charismatic. Like I was very surprised. Like I went into this like thinking like, oh, there are going to be like some cool people who I like, but there's not. I haven't found any of them to be a dud. Right, like. Going back to like Dragon Age, I'm not a huge Liliana fan, like she's kind of a dork, but
not in Origins, just later.
Oh yeah, in Inquisition, oh she's so edgy in Inquisition, but like yeah, like I like all of them, especially like Will. Like when I first met him, I was like, oh this fucking dork, like. I'm the blade of frontiers. I stepped up for the common folk when no one else would. And it's like, all right.
Okay,
like,
nerd.
He's Cartho Nassi, like Cade Nolenko. But then I loved finding out that he's like a massive fraud. He made a deal with the devil to get superpowers. And he's like Boromir. Like there's he's a sick fraud. And I love that about him. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone is like so charismatic. Like, is it? I forget how you pronounce her name. Is it Lazel?
Lazel?
Yeah. She's like describing the process of turning into a mind flayer, right? And she's like, and then because at first I say, oh, like I've heard of Gith before, but I've never seen one. And she's like, yeah, because they would have cut you from navel to neck. And like the little finger movement she did, I was like, damn, that's kind of hot. And then she like starts describing the process of turning into a mind flayer. And I'm like, there was no option for me to be like slightly impressed with her description of it. All of them were just like ones of like slight fear or panic. And I was like, nah, that was kind of like, that was kind of like really, really cool of her. Like I was like,
Her
I really...
propositioning you has the exact same cadence and tone as her describing the mind flayer parasite. Like it is like as brutal.
See, now I need this. I didn't think I would like her much because I don't normally like the sort of like brutish, like ultra violent types. It's not normally for me. I like someone like a little softer, maybe someone kind of douchey like Gale, because I'm convinced that Gale's kind of a douchebag. Who writes
Yeah.
poetry in their spare time? Douches. Anyway, but like I know I'm really liking everyone. I'm really, really liking everyone so far. There's nobody that I'm kind of like, ugh, don't really want to talk to you. No, I wanna bang all of them.
You may or may not have the opportunity. I don't actually know yet. Yeah, coming from being on the BioWare side of things, I definitely think this is going to be the next meal for everybody that's waiting for Dreadwolf, right? I mean, if you've ever been in a Dragon Age fandom and you're looking for a new place to be, I feel like this is gonna be it for a minute, because yeah, as you guys have said, they've all got their little, I think every single one of them is morally gray. Like they all have their little caveats. Like Will seems like such a good guy, and like maybe not. Like Lae'zel comes off really strong initially. Everybody's got their own little bits. Yeah. How are we feeling about like the sandbox sim parts? Like we've talked about sort of the D&D bit, the difficulty of having all of these spells. What about like the cheesy Larian things, Ted? I guess you've had experience with this. Like I don't think we've run into any like bleeding chicken exploits yet, but do we think this is gonna be exploitable?
Oh yeah, big time. Speaking of chickens, just speak with animals. Like if you don't
Yes.
if you aren't a druid or you don't have a speak with animals as a spell, like definitely like hoard those potions, because you can just, there's so many fun animal conversations. Like there are so many like cute, funny, weird animals. You can get a dog for your party camp. You can like befriend multiple oxen. Like there are great stuff hidden there. Cheese wise, like I think like Fraser and Robin were talking about this in the work chat today, but it's like there's, in Harvey too, there's like a lot less of that Larian like turning the ground into different types of ground to really mess up your enemies.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of been de-emphasized, but I think people have known about this since early access, but just shoving people and like the shove action is one of the most, it rocks. I have been shoved into bottomless pits a couple of times and been like, oh, like fuck off. And then I was squaring up against like kind of like a late in the act boss who is like a barbarian, and when he hits 0 hit points, he can still keep fighting. Like he gets 1 more hit point, like he gets like a second try. And I was trying to like, he could basically insta kill or like stun basically anybody in my party if he got a turn. So I kept trying to kill him in 1 turn, and I could not burst him down enough. But then I realized there's a bottomless pit right next to his throne, and the first time I tried it, like I just knocked him right in there with Karlach, and just 1 hit kill, he was out of there. It felt so good. Like you miss out. Like he has like a pretty good hammer or something, but it was so satisfying. It was just like fuck you, man. Catch in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, there's definitely been some really good cheesing fight strats, and they leave the breadcrumbs for you just like laying about, right? Like please abuse this stuff, make silly things happen. Like Mollie, you were struggling with that fight in the ruins a few times, I think.
Yes.
And I don't know if you got like all the way into the ruins and that's where you were struggling, or if it was just the people outside that were guarding it.
No, I dropped down.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
I like broke the little stone floor,
Yeah.
and I dropped down, but I was trying to kind of just run in and then take the biggest guy head on. And then I was like, oh, there's a little barrel here. So I sort of snuck and opened the door, and then like snuck back to the back of the room, and then like flung a fire spell at this
Yep.
barrel. And like half of the bandits in there just immediately like ate dirt, including like the big guy with like 25 HP that I was really struggling to defeat. And I was like, oh, this is so much easier.
Yeah,
It's just
that it
thinking
was
like it.
exactly. Yeah, it was getting to that fight in those ruins. Like that's one of the first things you can come across as combat. I think that may be like the first one that really everybody's going to see is dealing with those people that are hanging out at the ruins, trying to decide, they want to loot the ship that fell out of the sky, and you can either fight them or you can I'm pretty sure you can just walk away, or you can try to persuade them to leave.
Yeah, you can tell them that like, oh, you don't want to do that, and then which is what I did, and I passed I forget what it checks for, but I passed, and they were like, yeah,
there are
okay,
a few different checks. Yeah, I convinced them to leave the first time, and then I came back on a different character, and I was like, oh yeah, look at that rock that's hanging right above that you can smash into that broken centerpiece to hop down below. And then when I came back with that other character, I was like, oh, also they're standing and talking right beneath it. Like if you don't even want to talk to them or convince them of anything, you can just drop that on their heads because they're standing right there.
Damn, Lauren.
Can you talk to the people inside the ruins?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're immediately aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
that was my experience.
I talked to the people outside, and I was just clicking around. I didn't know anything about this place. I just fell into it completely by accident. I love that.
Yeah, I think I convinced them to leave, and then I went down to the door, and then they talk to you from the inside of the door. They're like, where's so-and-so? And you can be like, yo, they left, they abandoned you. And then when you go inside, they're immediately hostile, at least in my experience.
I didn't even go in the door.
I did the first time. Yeah, it's down, you walk down some stairs, and I think you have to lockpick it. Yeah, and the other immediately cheesable thing is when you crash the ship, and that mind flayer that has a chance to totally do you in. If you fail a check, it just eats your brain, and you're like, oh great, even though it's on the ground dying, it can totally make dust of you. And when I came back through with that second character and I was trying out a monk, I was like, hold on. What if I don't even trigger the dialogue? What if I stand back here? He's got less than 5 HP or something. He's so close to dead, and I just fire a little shot at him. Yeah, you could just straight up kill him and not even have to make an intuition check or whatever it is to succeed at that. I'm like, oh great, wonderful, problem solved. So there's so many solutions like that, and we're just in the early hours of this game. I think it's only going to get wilder and more complex. So
yeah, for sure. I think it's been something I haven't been able to do a lot of yet, is figure out the fun stuff, because I've been so busy just figuring out how to Baldur's Gate through
the D&D stuff.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know why, I was like, can you kill the children? And I killed one of the tiefling kids, and I was like, oh yeah, you can kill him. I was like, cool. Just not a lot of games let you kill the kids.
No, they don't usually. Which one did you kill? You don't remember?
I forget who I killed. I tried, and I succeeded to kill some younger tiefling.
To be fair, at least one of them is trying to steal from you. They all kind of wind up,
and thus they get the death penalty.
It might have been the one that tries to steal from you. I forget. I gave it.
Let it be known, I saved the one from the death penalty by
it didn't matter who the child was. I just killed a child.
Yeah, if it's a child,
Mollie.
Die.
Oh
I did also
God.
save that child though, Lauren. Yeah, I felt bad for it. I don't know why I'm saying it. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, Arabella is her name.
Yeah.
Reddit r/child free energy.
Have you guys been using a lot of your class specific, race specific dialogue options? Have you been doing a ton of checks for different things? Okay, Ted, yes.
I'm so psyched. I love it.
It whips ass. It's just such big obsidian Black Isle Troika energy. I feel like they really just nailed it with all the weird reactivity stuff. Because I'll get half drought and paladin options, and then there is a really scary, really cool villain arc in Act 1, in a side quest, and I got specifically Oath of Vengeance Paladin options for dealing with her, and that was sick as hell. Like, at the risk of spoiling too much, there's this like this evil character. There is basically one of the ladies of the wood from The Witcher 3 is in Act 1 of this game. And like, you can make a deal with her like to do something horrendous, and you get like a permanent ability increase. And that's like a pretty tempting offer. But like, I just remember like reading stuff pre-launch about people talking about like planning out their builds, and they like had like selling a child to the demon like as part of their build to get the +1 ability score. Like, that is peak RPG guy brain. That is like, you we've gone astray somewhere out here.
I can't believe, yeah, part of your build is being horrifically evil. Love it. How about you, Molly? Have you been doing lots of dialogue check stuff?
Yeah, it's mostly been bard stuff. I haven't had a lot of like half elf interactions yet. I did have one during the saving the child from the death penalty situation. There was like a half wood elf like specific dialogue that I managed, and that was really cool because I hadn't had that yet. I've had a lot of like being from Baldur's Gate specific dialogue as well, which I didn't even realize I was from Baldur's Gate. I don't know when I set that up, but apparently I'm is that like to do with which like
one of your backgrounds? Yeah
because I've got like the entertainer background.
I don't know if they mention it in the text of the background that you're choosing. Like, they may not, because I was surprised by that when I did whichever background I did for my monk. I think I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize I was also a Baldurian, but I guess I am.
I thought I read somewhere that it might be like there's a couple early dialogue options where if you choose it and it implies you're from Baldur's Gate, you get flagged as being from Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what I read. But the one I specifically read mentioned conversation with Asterion, and Molly, I don't think you've met Asterion yet, so I don't know where you would have.
Right before this podcast, I met him because he had a knife to my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no big deal. You could say we're close.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Speaking of Asterion, like, he is like Lae'zel spiritually, Sten from Dragon Age Origins. She has big Sten energy. She's a horny
Yes, she
Sten.
does. Absolutely.
Asterion is like kind of has that Sten disapproves, Morrigan disapproves. He hates you. Like, I've just been surprised at all like the nice or small things I do that he disapproves of. It's like he sucks. Like, I love him, but he sucks. He's such a dick. And then it's like I was starting to get worried because like he is like one of the most useful companions. Like, he can do so much. He does so much damage. He unlocks so many things. Like, he's really versatile. And like, oh my god, am I gonna like piss this guy off out of my party? But thankfully, I reached the point where you can let him feed on you and like suck. It's like I won all those points back by letting Asterion suck me dry, which gives you like a debuff that lasts until a long rest. It like sucks.
Oh really?
Yeah. If you let him go to Party Town, but then that unlocks him going to Party Town.
To be clear, as a vampire.
As a vampire.
I don't remember if you said that part or not.
Let me be clear.
See, as a girly who read a lot of vampire manga as a teenager, I'm kind of here for it. Maybe.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Like, when I was like seeing that scene, and it is like it can be played as like a more platonic. It's even then though, like there's that tension there, and it's like, oh. It was awesome.
They do seem quite temperamental. I will say a lot of the companions. Like, I will say like the smallest things, and it's like I've pissed half of my party off, and I'm like, what did I do? I just like breathed in the wrong direction, and all of a sudden you disapprove of what I'm doing.
A gaggle of hothouse orchids, big time.
It's so frustrating. It's like trying to please. Like, I play RPGs as like such a chronic people pleaser. I like everyone to like me, and I like to like everyone, and that's how I like to play my RPGs. Baldur's Gate 3 does not let you be a people pleaser. It's like, you're gonna piss people off. Like, no matter what you do, someone's gonna be mad at you for it. And I'm trying to get over that right now. Like, I'm trying to roll with like the bad dialogue choices and the bad roles and stuff like that. I think that's half the fun, is kind of letting go of. I have like a very perfectionist mindset when I play games. I like to make all the right choices. I like to come out with the best ending. And I think half of the fun in Baldur's Gate 3, like, I got stabbed by some lady, like, earlier, before this podcast. I got like stabbed with some poison, and I was like, oh fuck, yeah. And like,
Okay.
my finger like went to the escape key to like reload my save, and I was like, no, it's like, what are you doing? Like, don't
See it
do
through.
that. Yeah, like, see it through. And I saw it through, and I came out on the other side of it, and we were
It gives
all
you a
good.
lot of chances to get out of that
Yeah.
that particular situation. Fortunately, I think Larian knew people were gonna be like, "Wait, what?" Yes, they give you a lot of successive checks to talk your way out.
Yes.
I'm doing my best to get over those quick save instincts. I still will do it though, like when I'm trying to unlock something and then like Asterion rolls a one, I'm like, all right, fuck off, like we're going back. But yeah, it's like it's interesting, like all the chances they get. I was doing a lot of quick save and quick load at that shindig when everybody, like, that is like when, like, one of the first places you can establish a romance. Like, I think literally everybody except Carlock, like, that is like where it happens, but they are not explicit about it. So it's like Gale will be like, I would like to show you something magical later if you're interested. And then and it's like, all right, you show me a magic trick, and or like Shadowheart's like, would you like to share a bottle of wine with me later? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I finally get to Asterion, and he's like, I'm talking about sex, darling. And I'm like, oh God, no.
Is that what you've all been talking about?
It rocked. But all except Will, who is like much more like kind of like mopey hero. Like, you gotta be like, there's like dialogue options that be like, oh, I guess you don't realize like why I approached you out here. So like, I like that gradient of like different responses, and I really like how with that and with the approval, they are like very like, they're adversarial, and like you gotta kind of work with them, and you can't just give them like a million gifts to get their friendship points up.
Yeah, it is largely hidden from you. Like, there's not an approval like meter in the menu, is there? Wait, is there?
It's
and
on
I missed
the
it?
it's press tab, and then it's on the character sheets.
Oh, no.
Oh, I keep looking at their like experience bar, and I was like, where's the approval bar? And I've just not spotted it up until now.
But like, there's no points, and I don't know like what the difference is. Like, I'm sure that like different approval ticks like have different amounts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But it never even says like Astarion greatly disapproves. It's always just like the, you know, somebody hated that kind of.
Just up or down.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah, for sure. I think Phil said something about like, it does kind of suffer a little bit from the like the everybody loves the hero syndrome sometimes, but I'm okay with that. Like, I'm perfectly fine with that. I want everyone to love me. Like I said, I'm a chronic people pleaser. I want everyone to want me and to love me. So I think it still does a good job of like, you don't always know when you're gonna annoy someone, and you don't always know when you're gonna impress someone. Like I said, you can say something super trivial that doesn't even matter, but it will matter to like someone in your party. And I do quite like that, even if I do think it makes them a little fickle sometimes.
some of the small things. I definitely had one point where I like got into a tense situation that's, I think, is kind of near the end of Act 1's story, where I thought I was going to be going against Lae'zel and pissing her off quite greatly, and she actually wound up kind of agreeing with me because she was a little more concerned with saving her own skin than with her loyalty to her people in that moment, actually. And that surprised me. I was like, oh, okay. All right, I see. We're seeing eye to eye on this issue insofar as it involves you staying alive. Got it. I understand. That was a really great moment. I'm gonna bring us back around to the RPG, the combat. As much as the three of us will talk about romance for the entire time and our favorite little blorbos and meow meows, right? Let's see, combat stuff.
Sorry, Blorbo stands only. Toxic Meow Meow stands. Get out. Don't unfollow my blog, please.
I am the toxic Meow Meow stan. I'm sorry.
You are, Molly. I can save him. Okay.
Sorry, combat. That thing that's also in the game.
Just look, any cool spell, even if you're not using it in combat, just like any cool stuff you've run into that you're enjoying using so far. Like Molly, any cool bard stuff that you've been able to pull off and you've been really happy with?
It's not combat, but I did like that when I play a song, people come and listen and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah, like I played on my, I forget which I have. I think I have a lute. And I started playing and like people started like coming over and like listening to me, and they were all making like little comments on it, and I thought that was really
they're really just cute. Doing little banters. Aw, that's so neat.
It was really cute. And I think I've seen a video as well where I think if you do a certain quest, like other people in your party can learn to play an instrument and you can all like play the same song like together. So I am looking forward to making that happen. I saw it on Reddit
party
a couple
goals.
days ago. Yeah, so I want to do that. Also, I'm having fun experimenting with spells. I just picked up Cloak of Daggers, I think it's called. Yeah, like I misused it the first time. I think I put it on someone else and then I tried to like run in and melee them and then got like 7 points of damage. I was like, oh, is this how I'm like supposed to use it? I wasn't too sure, but Cloak of Daggers looks cool. It rocks.
What about you, Ted?
Smiting. I'm smiting all the live long day. Divine Smite for paladins is like super strong, like super good. It's like so satisfying. Like they do like a little slugger. Like when you got a great sword, they do this big old wind up and then just like bring it down like a sledgehammer. And it, like, depending on like kind of when you use it and how you use it, you can really just like chunk an enemy down. And then I speak with animals. It's like it used to be like it was a trait in Divinity 2, but here it's like if you're not a druid or a bard with the spell, you can find potions of it. And I like that it's really generous, that it lasts until a long rest.
Yes,
because there's like so much fun what you can have like talking to animals. Like they're all so cheeky and fun, and like just enjoy talking to them. And then the last ability is Tyler was like talking pre-launch. He thought the Wild Magic Barbarian looked cool. And I'm like, oh, Wild Mage, like that's always like a meme thing. Like I don't know how good it'll be. But on a lark, I made Karlak a Wild Magic Barbarian, and it's so much fun because you basically get a random special ability each time you rage, and the Wild Magic is like never detrimental like it used to be in older versions of D&D. So like so far I've seen you can get bonus magic damage on your weapon for the rage. You can get teleportation, like you just teleport for free once a turn while you're raging is one of the things that you get. AC
once per
bonus.
Turn?
Yeah.
Wow.
And sometimes it's like just like an explosion around you, like just everybody around you, friendly or not, takes damage. Yeah, Wild Magic is so fun, like Wild Magic Barbarian. I don't know how it works for sorcerers, but it's like a very fun, like it fits with like the barbarian fantasy, I feel like. like Berserker I think is probably like the better option because I think you get an extra attack when you're raging, but Wild Magic is a real hoot.
Nice. Yeah, speak with animals. I think I have Will. I don't know, maybe he picked up a feat or something. I don't remember why he has that ability.
It's like one of the warlock, you get it as like a free spell, I think, at one of your warlock levels. So there are a couple selections. Yeah,
so I gave him the speak with animal, and so he's been my my go-between with all of the animals. And I really love taking that skill because I know Larian is going to build in lots of like amusing little interactions. And so far they've mostly been small. And maybe that's because Will has my speak to animal, but he's not strong in like other like perception or whatever. I don't remember if he is or not. So maybe he's like missing some of the nuances. And in Divinity 2, I remember there being like a lot of like quests with animals. Like you talk to an animal and suddenly you're like running off to do something for them, or they're coming with you. Like you can reunite those dogs in Fort Joy. There's like the squirrel king, I think, or something that gives you a quest. If I'm remembering right, there's a lot of stuff in Divinity 2 with animals, and I haven't gotten much of that yet in Baldur's Gate 3, but I am holding out hope that as we get into like the later acts, we're gonna see more of that action. And like, I guess for spell stuff, I don't think I've done anything particularly cool yet. I've just been focusing on like going out and seeing as much as I can, and I've been talking my way through a lot of combat instead of getting into it. I think I was honestly surprised that magic missile that Gale has, you always think about as kind of a joke. You're like, whatever, magic missile, like low level cantrip. And I think it's not a cantrip anymore. Like it's maybe a level 1 spell in 5th edition.
It was level 1 before, but it was always like kind of like okay. It was like a spell of last resort.
It has
I noticed
4 bolts now, and I was like, okay, that can kind of just get rid of almost a whole enemy for me, depending on the fight.
It does good damage, and you don't have to like make a check to hit anybody. And then it's like also the animation is like really satisfying. Like it's like a machine gun now.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is pretty cool. And I came across some harpies. Beware of the harpies. Yeah. You'll think to yourself, wait, is this about to be? And like, yeah, it is. So just like, be careful. In a particular part of the Act 1 map area. Let's see, have I missed anything else? We have any other big feelings in our first few days of Baldur's Gate that you guys want to talk about?
Charisma classes are superior, as we have come to learn from a bard and 2 paladins. Yeah, charisma classes are pretty good. So
that feels like very fun and very fitting, because it's like used to be that always kind of sucks. Like it's kind of interesting because like in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, there's like not a lot of opportunity for non-combat stuff. Like that kind of came. That's kind of in Fallout. That's kind of in Planescape Torment. That's not really in Baldur's Gate as much. So it's like kind of cool to see that like kind of that vindication of like bards, paladins. Charisma always used to be like one of the dump stats. Like that's always like don't pay attention to charisma. And now it's like it's roaring back. It's like it's fun to talk to people, and it's very cool. Yeah. And you can also still be good at combat too, which like just feels like such a really very gratifying fantasy. I do feel like, because I talked my way out of that goblin ambush at the abandoned town, and I feel like I avoided getting hazed. Like that seems like a really big early game fight that really fucks up a lot of people.
Yes. That was really intense. I'm really proud of myself talking my way through that. And then if you get to the trolls that are back hanging out in that camp and you pass a couple different checks, I have not put use to them yet, but I am just waiting. I am waiting for the moment to call in my new troll friends.
I got my boys. I wish I've had a couple points where I wish I had deployed the boys. Do you know why Lump the Enlightened is so smart?
No, I don't yet. Don't tell me. Me.
I don't think you can find out unless you kill him, is the thing.
Oh.
No. He killed and ate somebody who was wearing a headband of intellect. And so he now has the properties of the headband of intellect. It raised his intelligence stat to 17.
Because he swallowed it.
Yes. And so like that's how you find out about it is if you kill him, and which is another
the most well-spoken troll.
If you kill him and take his headband of intellect, which is of course another power gamer thing you can do. That's like how you find it, I think.
Oh, that is incredible. Yeah, I wouldn't have found out because I'm not gonna kill him. I've made a friend for sure.
We're bros. 8 intelligence life. Yeah, that's like my lowest stat. I have 8 intelligence and then like 16 charisma and 18 strength. Full jock hours. Let's go.
How does it feel to be less intelligent than like a whole actual troll? Well, this has been our first, 15 to 20 hours with Baldur's Gate. I imagine many folks listening will be catching up, maybe surpassing us by the time they hear this. So hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we won't be spoiling too much for you. But yeah, this has been me, Lauren Morton, and Mollie Taylor, and Ted Litchfield, all on that Baldur's Gate train. The rest of the PC Gamer team also playing a lot of Baldur's Gate right now. Make sure to rate and review the podcast when you get a chance. And also check out everything Baldur's Gate 3 on pcgamer.com/Baldur's-Gate-3. Or, you can just use a search engine on your phone like you were going to. Anyway, you're going to find a lot of tips, a lot of guides, and a lot of opinions, too, about Baldur's Gate 3. Right now, the opinions are feeling very positive. So hopefully by the time anybody hears that remains true and I'm not a liar. But yeah, back to Baldur's for all of us, probably at this point. Bye, guys.
Bye.